Alright, I got a little bit of a different video that I'm going to put together. It'll probably take me a while to get this one put together. I'm starting a couple of knives. These ones will be hand forged out of, this is a bar of W2 steel. I have an order for a Hells Belle Bowie, Hells Belle style Bowie. Google Bill Bagwell Hells Belle Bowie, and you can see what one of those looks like. He says in his book that it's the best fighting knife out there. Of course, he made them and sold them, but he also knew what he was talking about. So I have an order for one. I've made a few of that style before, but never with a hand-forged blade. I've made one out of Damascus and a couple out of a high carbon steel. This W2 is some famous steel that I've told the story on in other videos, so I probably won't talk about it here, but it is an excellent steel that holds an extremely good edge and has a very vivid hamon. And that's what I'll be doing on this knife, is it will have a hamon. So I'm going to document the process, not in extreme depth, but just let you see the steps that go into making a knife like this. So you're probably familiar with the term, you got to strike while the iron's hot. I don't want to hit it unless it's at a certain within a certain temperature range, because I'll make the steel brittle. And as you can see, this is the first time I've tried swinging a hammer since my shoulder injury, and it is definitely affecting how I can do it. So we'll see how this goes, but keep banging away at it. Between the shoulder and I cut my finger at work on Thursday afternoon, and trying to keep a bandage on that. This is going great. going for is about 10 or 11 inches of blade, so we're about there. Surprising how much. So this is Tuesday night. I did the first part of this forging Saturday, and I just, as you can see from the video, I just couldn't control the hammer, and my arm just got tired too quick. So it's actually amazingly better today, like much more control. I'm able to hit the steel a lot harder. So this is going a lot better. I've got the blade about as long as I want. I'm going to even it up now. I'm going to start forging the tang. And the Hells Belle usually has between a 9.5 to a 12.5 or 13-inch blade. So I'm going to shoot somewhere around probably 11 inches. This I want to do a little bit thinner blade on this one, but it's going to be a big fighting Bowie with a D-shaped guard. So it should be pretty cool. Start forging a little bit of the blade, the taper of the blade edge, because I want a little bit more width than what I've got there. Alright, well, while I'm working on the tang on this one, I figure I might as well be doing two knives while I'm doing one. And I've got this short piece from a previous knife already welded in here, so I'm going to start a little hunting knife. We'll see what this one turns out to be. Probably a good idea to cool the grip end of the stick. Especially right at the tang, right at the where the guard and the ricasso are going to be. I don't want to have that steel wind up brittle, so I got to be careful not to work it unless it's at the right temperature. And not having full control of my hammer swings is going to make this tang. I got brave. I thought about just forging it out an extra 2 or 3 inches flat and then doing it all stock removal from there, but I'm going to be brave and try to forge out this tang without messing it up. Why not, huh? I'll worry about making sure it's perfectly flat later. Not that worried about that right now. Just gonna have to do this real slow, as you can see. I'll check back in as soon as that tang's done. far as the forging. I'll do some more shaping on the blade shape and that stuff. Kind of like forging two knives at once, because then you pretty much always have something to work on. But I am sweating. Flat, dead flat. Not quite flat. Get it in the next heat. And then I will do some normalizing cycles to relieve the strain in the steel. I put a lot of strain in the steel by working it like this, and so I'm going to normalize it, meaning I'm going to heat it up to critical temperature where all the carbon is in solution, and then I'll pull it out. Good. Alright, now I'll do some normalizing. Like I said, that just means bringing the whole blade up to critical temperature like I would if I was going to quench it. But I don't want it hard yet because I still got to do some work on it, and I want it to be soft for that. So I'm going to bring it up to quenching temperature, pull it out, let it get to just to where it's not red anymore. Put it back in, bring it to a slightly lower temperature, pull it out, bring it back to black, and then pull it back in for a slightly lower temperature still, then pull it out a third time, and then I'll kill the forge and put it in there, just let it slowly cool off overnight so that when I come back tomorrow night I can work on it. Yeah, still recording. What I'll do is I'll turn off the lights. I think that should still give me enough light so you can see that. Let me actually get you closer to the forge there. And I will pull the blade out here where you can see it. And you notice the whole blade's not the same temperature. I got the middle hot there, so I'm going to play with it here a little bit. Get the whole thing at the same temperature. Now luckily I don't have to heat treat like this anymore because I have a even heat kiln. If I was to put a magnet on that, magnet's not, that has no attraction to it whatsoever. But as soon as it goes back through that phase, I'll know when it's down below critical temperature because it'll be magnetic again. And it happens pretty quickly. Now it's magnetic again. So I'm going to let that cool down. Just a little bit more. So I brought it above critical temperature. Critical temperature, like I said, being that point where all my carbon and all the other trace alloys are in solution. Everything's ready to be hardened. I've allowed those grains to swell up, the metal grains to swell. Now they're shrinking down. Now when I heat them up again, I'm going to heat them up to where they're not quite as hot, and the grains will swell a little bit, not quite as much. What I want to do is reduce the grain size to as small as possible. Blades that have coarse, thick, big grains in them tend to be brittle, so you want as fine a grain as possible. I got to be really careful not taking it too high, so I don't want to mess with this one too much. But so you see the process. I'm going to do that 2 more times. Alright, so going to start work on them again today. This is actually what I'm doing a knife similar to. Sort of my take on the Hells Belle fighting Bowie. Kind of like the look of this one here. Probably not going to do the coffin handle on it. I have another idea, but it will have that C-guard. And now we'll do some work on the grinder to get it to where it looks like something like that. so there is the rough grind done. These bevels here won't actually meet the point till I finish. See, I need to have a little bit of meat left in there for heat treat. I'm going to be clay coating this blade to be able to create the jamon. And I decided that I'm going to leave some of the forge marks in this one in a few places, so it will kind of be a contrast between the refined look of the jamon and the rough look of the forging process. And part of that, you know, this is a direct result of, you know, just my shoulder injury. I can't control the hammer like I would like to, and you know, this is a stray blow that goes a little deeper than I want to. I could take it out, but I think in this one, I think I want to leave it. I got plenty of thickness on the blade that I could keep grinding and take that out, but I'll probably leave at least some of it. So there's that one. It's ready now for heat treat. Got the hole drilled for the handle, and then there's the ricasso, and then I'll start working on the C-guard here in a minute. Alright, so here we have the two blades. This is rough ground. They're now ready to be clay coated to create the jamon, and then heat treated, and then the final grind and polish and all that stuff begins. But see, this is about a 4-inch blade. This is about a 10, almost 11-inch blade probably. Pretty happy with the way that one turned out so far. Just gotta hope we don't break it in heat treat. Okay, so there they are. The clay is drying. So I'll probably let them dry till tomorrow and then heat treat them. Every place that I have clay, I'm trying not to let it fully harden. Of course, the whole edge is going to be fully hardened, including the back cut section on the Bowie. I don't want the tang to fully harden. I want it to be more tough than hard. So that's why it's coated heavily there. One of my favorite parts of knife making is seeing how that pattern turns out in the end. You never can predict what it's going to do, if it's going to work, where the pattern's going to show up, but it's always fun.